Okay, so here we're looking at a piece of sculpture that actually goes back to the first church that we looked at, St. Denis. And this is the Virgin and Child. And notice how the size of it, it's a little more than 27 inches tall, so it's not so large. And in fact, at this time period where we're circa 1324 to 1339, religious subjects became more emotional, more expressive, and expensive and smaller. So this is looked at as really being this like precious, beautiful object. And you can see this, the child, Jesus child here, reaching up and touching his mother Mary's chin here, and she looks very lovingly at him, and there's this really emotional connection in this piece that we really haven't seen before in depictions of the Mary and Jesus imagery. And we see that she's got that kind of weird Gothic S curve going on her body, and she's still way out of proportion. But the proportions maybe are getting a little bit better, and the way the folds are on the drapery are a little bit more believable. They're not just these straight lines. We have a little bit of a curve to them as they come down. Well, we next want to look at Gothic art in England and Germanic lands. And the first piece, the first piece I'm showing you here is the Salisbury Cathedral in England. And this dates to 1220 to 1258. And then we have, in addition to that, we have a cloister and a chapel house here. And they were created between the years 1263 and 1284. Now, the English churches differ from the French churches, and the English churches did not emphasize the height as much as the length of the nave. The cathedral at Salisbury typifies this English style. So we have, actually I'll show you in a minute, what you do is you have to walk through the village to walk up this hill, and then there's open space around the church. So it's like a park-like setting with this attached cloister and chapel house. And then we have across the top of it, this square here is indicating the tower. And this is of extraordinary height in comparison to the French ones that we looked at, the towers with the spires on the top. And I'll show you that in a second as well. And the interior really reflects more of a Norman tradition than anything else. So let's look at this now. And here you see it. So like I said, what you have to do to get to this is there's this whole town. You walk through the town and you're walking uphill the whole way, and then on the top of the hill is the cathedral. And so it looks over the whole town, and the town kind of grew up organically around the cathedral in the 1200s. And you can see the French cathedrals would have their towers with the spires here in the front, but they're indicated, but they're really tiny. And instead we have this giant tower in the middle here where we have the nave and the transept crossing. And in fact, we have a transept here, and then we have another kind of transept here. So it really is a vast difference between this and the French style. And when we look down the middle, we can see a couple of similarities, though. We can see that we, of course, have a pointed arch, and we have our ribbed vaulting. We have some more decorative ribbing down here that we'll see in many of the churches from England and also from the Germanic lands, Germany, or around Germany. And then we have also really you can see that the columns are getting more narrow. They're thinning out here in more of the Gothic style in England. Whoops.